Hello, my name is Scott Davis, and welcome to New World Birth. This is the weekly neutrino forecast for May 29th to June 4th of 2016. And on May 29th, we have the sun. You can see it denoted here by this black circle with a dot in it. It's in Gemini. It's also in the 16th hexagram. And on the outside of the wheel, we have the chop mark for the 16th hexagram, numbered from bottom to top. The 16 goes yin, yin, yin. Yang, yin, yin. And then the 16th hexagram is mapped to an opening in an energy channel called a gate. And right here, this is the 16th gate of skills, enthusiasm, the great art of enriching life by the harmonic channeling of energy, located in the throat center in a collective logic energy path in the understanding circuit called the channel of the wavelength, the design of talent that connects to its harmonic, the 48th gate of depth, the well, the necessary and qualitative foundation that is a prerequisite to establish the common good. And I found human design to be amazingly accurate in describing the person that I use it as my primary tool when I provide readings. And we have the following activated gates on May 29th. We have the sun in the 16th gate with the earth in the 9th gate. The north node is in the 47th gate with the south node in the 22nd gate. We have Mercury, and it's newly direct, and it's in the 2nd gate, with Venus in the 16th gate, along with the Sun. Mars is retrograde in the 14th gate. Jupiter is in the 64th gate. Saturn is retrograde in the 5th gate. Uranus is in the 42nd gate. Neptune is in the 63rd gate. And Pluto is retrograde in the 54th gate. So obviously not every gate activation forms a channel, but this information can be very helpful if you know your own human design chart, because some of these transits will form channels with potentials in your personal body graph. And we begin the week with 2 channel definitions due to the transit field. With Jupiter in the 64 and the North Node in the 47, we have the channel of abstraction, a design of mental activity mixed with clarity until June 7th. It's been with us for quite a while, but it's going to wrap up next week. The energy of this channel is about creating something new out of something old. It's about abstract thought being brought into the collective consciousness through the arts, philosophy, history, and culture. It's really wonderful energy for telling stories about our experiences that inspire others, but can bring confusion when used to resolve our own issues. The defined head center can bring pressure to think about things that don't matter, and the defined oddness center can influence folks to believe that they're certain of something even when they are not. And then with Mars in the 14th gate and Mercury in the 2nd gate, we have the channel of the beat, a design of being the keeper of the keys until June 2nd. This adds energy to follow our own direction in life through the experiences that empower others, rather either directly or indirectly. This is a time when folks may feel the need to follow their own inner mission. People will surrender more to the rhythm of life rather than making decisions through thinking. Folks with this channel have a skill to manipulate change in any direction they wish, as long as they're waiting to respond to life. The defined G center can influence those without to obsess about where they're headed or where they might find love. The defined sacral center can affect non-generators in feeling busy and having the endurance to work. Obviously not something to get used to. They also may think that they know when enough is enough, which could lead to the premature or abrupt end to something that really needs more time. May 29th, the sun begins in the 3rd line of the 16th hexagram. The sun in the 3rd line of the 16 is independence, self-generating and sustained enthusiasm, exalted, the proper timing to maintain rhythm and avoid deflation, the independent skill and possible talent to express proper timing and rhythm. Detrimented, the child whose overconfidence may lead to frustration and ensure dependence on others to regenerate enthusiasm, thus creating an unnecessary reliance. The need to have others confirms one's skill or talent. But then later on the 29th, the sun then moves into the 4th line of the 16th hexagram at 8:35 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:35 UT. And the sun in the 16.4 is the leader, genuine and sincere support and recognition of others, exalted enthusiasm for and service to higher goals, the skill to recognize and support the talent of others. Detrimented the demagogue, the refusal to support or recognize the talent of others. On the 30th, the sun then moves into the 5th line of the 16th hexagram at 8:03 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:03 UT. The sun in the 16.5 is described as the Grinch. The refusal to share enthusiasm exalted the power to avoid enthusiasm for the sole purpose of being converted. As with Dickens' Scrooge, the eventual conversion leads to greater and more enduring enthusiasm, a lack of confidence in expression of skills that needs encouragement of others. Detrimented the perverse feeling that sharing in enthusiasm hampers individual development. Why should I be happy when, etc.? A lack of confidence in the value of encouraging others. And then on the 31st, the sun then moves into the 6th line of the 16th hexagram at 7:31 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 11:31 UT. The sun in the 16.6 is gullibility, the susceptibility to propaganda, exalted, the ability to experience, examine, and then reject misleading enthusiasm, the talent to access the expression of others. Detrimented the same principle as the exaltation, but to painful withdrawal. The enthusiasm for social structures permanently prejudiced. The failure to assess the expression of others. And then on the June 1st, the sun then moves out of the 16, leaving Venus, and it moves into the 35. And the Earth moves out of the 9 and joins Saturn in the 5. So the Earth is in the gate of fixed rhythms, waiting, the fundamental attunement to natural rhythms, waiting as an active state of awareness. And this shift happens at 6:59 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 10:59 UT, with the sun in the 35th gate of change, progress. But as design, progress cannot exist in a vacuum and is dependent on interaction. And the sun is in the first line of the 35, which is described as humility, the ability to accept rejection, exalted, the artist that accepts rejection as part of the process, acceptance of change and rejection as part of the process. Detrimented, a self-destructive reaction to rejection, loss of worth, change and rejection as humiliation. And as we move from the 16 to the 35, we enter into the gate of progress. This is an abstract collective throat gate that says, I feel like making a change or not. This is the manifesting gate of the human experiential wave, beginning with the 41st gate, then to the 30, to the 36, and then to the 35 where it reaches the throat. So this is about having many different experiences in the channel of the jack of all trades. It's a manifesting gate of desire. This is about sharing experiences with the collective and to fully mature from having had those experiences. Its harmonic gate, the 36th gate is the 36th gate of crisis. And the Chinese character for crisis is made up of the characters for danger and opportunity. And there's always danger and opportunity in crisis and change that has the potential to lead for progress. The polarity of the 35 is the 5th gate of fixed rhythms, change that repeats, that is experienced on deeper levels through repetition. The not self of the 35 can get caught up in looking for the ideal experience, the experience that it wants to repeat, looking for the destination, but the 35 is about the journey. The not self of the 35 can become exhausted looking for the end, which being a manifesting gate can lead to anger. This is the quarter of civilization variation of the cross of consciousness. The 35 is rooted in desire, the desire to have experiences, the need to have varied experiences, to have more experiences, with the voice of the 35 expressing, I feel like a change, but also it doesn't mean I need to change now. On the 2nd, the sun then moves into the second line of the 35 at 6:28 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is 10:28 UT. The sun in the 35 too is described as the creative block, lack of inspiration, which stops progress, exalted attunement with the vagaries of the muse and the recognition, creative energy that ebbs and flows, creativity and the muse that will always come and go, detrimented the need to take action, however mundane, to overcome the feelings of emptiness. The actions being inspired do not further progress. The need for change and the fear of stasis. And then also on the 2nd, Mercury moves out of the 2nd hexagram in gate, so that we no longer have this definition. And it moves into the 23rd gate and hexagram. And Venus moves out of the 16, and it joins the sun in the 35. So let's talk about Mercury first. In mythology, Mercury was the messenger of the gods. So this is communication, and as Rob put it, the expansion of consciousness through communication, not just as words, but also as music. And it's in the gate of assimilation, splitting apart, amorality, the awareness and understanding which accepts, which leads to the acceptance of diversity. Mercury is in the first line of the 23rd hexagram, which is proselytization, the attempt to undermine one set of values for another, exalted the sage who in the extreme can defend evil as part of the greater good, the powerful expression of an insight which will undermine established values, detriment of the missionary whose very light will bring darkness, the powerful expansion of an insight which will produce negative effects. And then we also have Venus moving from the 16 to the 35, where it joins the sun. In human design, Venus is about values, morality, natural law in which we deal with the other and the consequences in the world around us. And Venus is in the 35th gate of change, progress by design. Progress cannot exist in a vacuum and is dependent on interaction. Venus is exalted in the first line of the 35, which is humility, the ability to accept rejection, exalted the artist that accepts rejection as part of the process, acceptance of change and rejection as part of the process. On the 3rd, the sun then moves into the 3rd line of the 35th hexagram at 5:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 9:26 UT. The sun in the 35-4 is hunger, the insatiable appetite for progress, exalted. The drive may be obsessive when the moon is full, but like the fading moon, the obsession abates. Change for the sake of for change's sake. The drive lessens with age, detrimented the abuse of position to accumulate perks, which inevitably, with the inevitable redistribution from those unfairly deprived. The drive for progress that will ultimately step on the toes and lead to recrimination. Anyway, thank you for checking out New World Birth, the next segment of the weekly neutrino forecast will be for June 5th, 2016, should be available on the 4th, when we'll continue to look at the influence of the heavenly bodies as they transit the sky and the hexagrams of the I Ching. You can check us out on Facebook, Blogger, or YouTube, as there's New World Birth presences in all those places. And I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose, and invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you have any questions or wish to schedule a reading. And if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me, as I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. You'll need to be able to either call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. We're also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available. And lately things have been pretty lean. The summer tends to be also a time when there's less readings and less donations. So we are certainly in a place here at New World Birth of wondering how long we're going to be able to continue to provide these reports. So if you have the means to make a donation or to get a reading, I would certainly be very glad to have that experience with you. And as always, I am blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries, their synthesis and application to our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and as Ra would say, love yourself. All my best to you, and look forward to connecting with you in the future.